Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this lesson. Today I am going to discuss Merchant of Venice, Act 2, Scene 7, which takes place at Belmont, a room in Portia's house. So here I begin. And before that, let me ask you, have you subscribed to my channel? If you haven't, then please do. And also watch the video till end. So now let us start Act 2, Scene 7. This is the first casket scene where Prince of Morocco comes and makes his choice and chooses the wrong casket. He fails but wins sympathy for he really loves Portia. The theme of appearance versus reality is stressed. One should not be deceived by external appearances. All that glitters is not gold is a well known maxim. Morocco has not been wise enough to choose the right casket. He has tried to act wisely and not boldly. Too much thought is morbid. It inhibits actions and results in tragedy. Thus, this casket is revealed by choice. He is prompt by pride. A man wholeheartedly in love would have been ready to hazard all. This scene also brings out the practical wisdom of Portia. When she is happy that Morocco has failed and wishes that all the people of his complexion and personality should make a wrong choice. So, now let us see what happens in this scene. This scene takes place at Belmont, a hall in Portia's house. Enters Portia with Prince of Morocco and his train, that is, his attendants or servant. This is the first casket scene where Prince of Morocco comes and makes his choice. Portia, go, draw aside the curtains and discover the several caskets to this noble prince. Portia tells her servant to draw aside the caskets. Actually, the caskets are behind the curtain and are not revealed. Only when someone goes to make his choice, then only the curtains are drawn aside. And then she tells the Prince of Morocco to go and make his choice. Servants draws back the curtain and reveal the caskets. Morocco. The first of gold, who this inscription bears, who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. The second, silver, which this promise carries, who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. This third, dull lead, with warning all as blunt, who chooseth me must give and has it all he hath. How shall I know if I do choose the right? Morocco examines the caskets, so the three caskets are before him, the gold, silver, and lead. And what does he do? He examines them very well. So, this is the first inscription on the golden casket. That means whoever chooses this casket will get what many men aspires for. Then he reads the second casket. So, the second casket tells that the person who chooses the silver casket will get as much as he deserves, means he will get as much as he should be getting. And the third casket, that is the lead casket, is quite a difficult one. It has some warnings. So he says that the message is quite blunt. No promises in it, rather a threat. So the person who chooses this casket, he will get, he must give. That means he must risk everything that he has. And that also coming from a lead casket. How many people would be ready to risk everything for the sake of the blunt casket? This is the question that is in the uppermost suitors whenever they come to choose. How shall I know if I do choose the right casket? So he puts this question, that how will I come to know if I have chosen the right casket? So what does Portia says? She gives the answer. Portia, the one of them contains my picture, Prince. If you choose that, then I am yours withal. Portia says, one of the casket, it has my picture. So if you choose the right casket, then my you will find my portrait inside, and then I am your wife. Morocco. Some gold direct my judgment. Let me see. I will survey the inscription back again. What says this leaden casket? Who chooseth me must give the hazard all he hath. Must give for what? For lead? Hazard? For lead? This casket is threatens. Men that hazards all do it in hope of fair advantages. Some gold casket, some gold direct, some God direct my judgment. So he is taking the help of God to help him to choose the right casket and to make his choice. Let me see. I will survey the inscription back again. So first he had read it from gold to silver to lead, and now he wants to go back again from lead to silver to gold. What says the leaden casket? Who chooseth me must give the hazard all he hath. Must give for what? For lead? Hazard? For lead? So he feels that lead is such a cheap metal. Should I risk everything for the sake of this cheap metal? This casket threatens. The other two tries, they are making some promises, but this casket is only threatening. Men that hazard all do it in hope of fair advantage. A golden mine stoops not to show off draws. Then I will nor give nor hazard aught for lead. So those men who risk their everything, they do it in the hope of better prosperity or profit. At one advantage, a golden casket is quite proud of himself that he is the Prince of Morocco. A golden mine does not stoop or bend for something very cheap, if then not give. So he takes a decision that he is not going to give or risk anything at the cost of the lead. Now he goes to the silver casket. As much as he deserves, pause there, Morocco, and weigh the value with an even hand. And if thou the best rated, if thy by estimation thou dost deserve enough, and yet enough may not extend so far as to lady, and yet to be afeard of my deserving, were but a weak disabling of myself. As much as I deserve, why, that's the lady. I do it in birth deserve her, and in fortune, in grace, and in qualities of breeding. But more than these, in love, I do deserve. What is I strayed no further but choose here? So he thinks that. He tells, pause here, Morocco, and then weighs your value with an impartial hand, that is, in an impartial manner, means let judge oneself impartially. He says, if you want to rate yourself or if you want to judge yourself, you deserve a lot, but that lot may not extend so far as to Portia. For example, you think that you have done very well in your exam and you deserve 90%, but that doesn't mean that you will get the highest marks in the class. Similarly, he deserves a lot, but that lot does not mean that he is worthy of Portia. That is, he is fit to get Portia. Then he feels that if I have no confidence in myself, means if I have doubt that I don't deserve Portia, that means it is my lack of confidence. So he says, if I am afraid of my merit, that means this shows my weakness and it might go against my chances. It shows my lack of confidence. So now it is the confident Morocco, as he says, as much as I deserve. Why? That's the lady. So, as much as I deserve, so it is the lady whom I deserve. Now he gives several reasons why he deserves Portia. I do in birth deserve her, and in fortunes, in graces, and in qualities of breeding. But more than these in love, I do deserve her. So, what are the reasons Morocco gives for deserving Portia? He deserves her because he is born of a royal family, a royal prince. His fortunes are not less than Portia, rather equal. My natural virtues and qualities of good education also make me a very deserving candidate for Portia. But more than this, he feels that he deserves Portia because he loves her. So Morocco has given 4 reasons why he deserves Portia, and the one he considers the most important reason is that he loves her. But if I stray no further, but choose here, let us see once more this saying graved in gold: who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. Why, that's the lady. All the world desires her. So he feels, let me once again read through the instructions written in the golden casket. And after reading the silver casket, he had thought of choosing the silver casket. But now, after reading this instruction, his second thought says that this golden casket is more significant, as it says that who chooses me shall gain what many men desires. Why? That is, it is certainly this lady. The people of the whole world desires her. From the 4 corners of the earth they come. What reason does he give for the whole world to desire for Portia? Was that from 4 corners of the earth the suitors of Portia comes? To kiss the shrine, this mortal breathing saint, so the highland deserts and the vasty wilds of wide Arabia are as though fairs now for princes to come view fair Portia. That means suitors from far away, they come through crossing the desert. The crossing the desert is very difficult because it is quite abundant, and on the way they might get lost. Deserts as if become the main roads, as it is flocked by princes and their attendant coming through the road regularly to Belmont and the watery kingdom, whose ambitious head spits in the face of heaven is no bar to top the foreign spirits. So the watery kingdom refers to the oceans and the ambitious head refers to the highways. Spits in the face of heaven means to say that they are so high that it seems that it is reaching the sky. Is no bar. They are not an obstacles or hindrance to stop the foreign spirits. Foreign spirit refers to the suitors of Portia who come from foreign countries, but they come and over a brook to see fair Portia. And how do the princes cross the watery kingdom? As if they are crossing a small brook. A brook is a small river. That means these obstacles do not dishearten the suitors, do not frighten the suitors. They cross it very calmly, as if They are crossing a brook, and one of these contain her heavenly pictures. Isn't like that lead contains her? So now he is trying to judge which one really has Portia's picture or portrait. So he again goes back and say that isn't like that lead contains her, and then he scolds himself. It were damnation to think so base a thought. That means thinking that Portia's portrait must be in a dull metal called lead, and that thought would be damned, means that thought is to be damned. If were it too gross to rib her care cloth in the obscure grave, so even the care clothes, cere clothes with which a dead body is wrapped, that is also not fit to be kept in the lead casket. That means even the cere cloth of Portia is not fit to be kept in the lead casket. Or shall I think in silver she is immersed, bring 10 times undervalued, or tried gold? O sinful thought! So again he says, can she be in the silver casket? But at that time, when the golden casket is nearby and a silver casket is 10 times less than the value to pure gold, he considers this thought to be sinful. Previous one was damned, means fit for damnation, and this is a sinful thought. Never so rich a gem was set in worse than gold. Such a rich gem like Portia's portrait can never be in anything than worse in gold. They have in England a coin that bears the figure of an angel stamped in gold, but that unsculpted upon, and here an angel in golden bed lies all within. Deliver me the key, here I choose, and thrive as I may be. So he says in England there is a gold coin which has a figure of an angel carved in gold, but here the angel lies within the gold in the casket. So then he asks for the keys, and then he says, whatever be my success, I am going to open the golden casket. So he asks for the keys. I choose the golden casket, whatever my success may be. Portia, there take it, prince, and if my form lie there, then I am yours. So Portia knows that in which casket her portrait is, and she must be quite relieved that Prince of Morocco is choosing a wrong casket. In the gold casket, that is the gold casket, and she knows that her portrait is not in the golden casket. And remember, Portia is a little bit prejudiced, that is color biased. Morocco unlocks the golden casket. Morocco, oh hell, what have we here? A Charon, death, within whose empty eye there is a written scroll. So just imagine the shock of his life he gets when he opens the golden casket and he finds a skull inside, and an empty eyes of the skull. They have a scroll written, a roll of paper in it, something written in it. I'll read the writing. So when he opens the golden casket, he finds an empty skull within whose hollow eye socket there is a scroll of paper, which he reads. All that glisters is not gold. Often have you heard them told, many a man his life hath sold, but my outside to behold, gilded toms do worm enfold. Had you been as wise as bold, young in limbs, in judgment old, your answer had not been unscrolled. Fare you well, your suit is cold. So the golden casket tells that many men have given up their lives lonely to seek the gold which has covered the outside, but the gold-plated terms it is not necessary that gold should have something very valuable inside. It is because gold plated tombs many times they have gold plated, but the body inside it is eaten up by worms. If you had been as wise as your bravery, as he was begging about his bravery, means if you had been as wise as you are bold, your judgment had been as sound as you are physically strong, then you wouldn't have got this answer. So your effort has resulted in a failure. So goodbye. Cold indeed and labor lost. Then farewell heat and welcome frost. Portia's adieu. I have to grieve. A heart to take tedious leave. Thus loses part. So he says, yes, my efforts have failed and my labor is just lost. So Portia, let me bid you farewell and welcome frost. So now he is welcoming disappointment because his effort has failed and now he has to go back. He bids Portia farewell and tells, I am really sad to speak from my heart or give a big formal speech. So this is how a loser should leave. So he leaves with his attendants, Portia. A gentle readiness. Draw the curtains, go. Let all his complexion chooses me so. So Portia is quite happy to get rid of this gentle fellow. And so she says, she tells that, draw the curtains and let us all leave. And don't throw like him and let all his complexion, here complexion means the skin color. The people who are like him, the bragger, may they all make a similar choice. May their efforts result in all failure. So this is the end of Act 2, Scene 7. It is an important scene which you should understand nicely. Read each line and remember the instructions. They are all important. This is where we find that an outward show is often deceptive. So keep that in mind. So dear children, with these words I end my lesson. Watch this video till end for the complete detailed explanation. Do like and share this video with your friends so that it benefits them also. Hope this lesson will be beneficial for you in your study. Thank you for watching this video.